Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. US police have arrested a suspect after 6 people were killed in a mass shooting at an Independence Day parade in Highland Park in Illinois. This was the scene as spectators fled the shooting. Robert E. Cremo III climbed onto a roof, shooting randomly at spectators using a high-powered rifle at the event, which was scheduled to include floats, marching bands and community entertainment as part of the city's Independence Day celebrations. Mr. Cremo was detained after a manhunt. It is the latest mass shooting to hit the US. There has been one in every week of 2022.
It breaks my heart. The stories are already coming out, and some of them are just things that we'll never forget. It happened to these wonderful people who were just simply bringing their families out to watch a 4th of July parade. What an American day, what an American experience, and what American tragedy followed. And then, of course, one man, a man propelled by cowardice, who is exercising his violence and leaving a tragedy behind him that we're going to live with for a long, long time.
Hours later, and there was another shooting in the United States, this time at a fireworks display in Philadelphia. This the scene there of people running for their lives. 2 police officers were wounded and are in a stable condition in hospital.
If I had the ability to take care of guns, I would. But the legislature won't let us. The U.S. Congress won't let us. The governor does the best he can. Our attorney general does the best he can. But this is a gun country. It's crazy. We're the most armed country in world history, and we're one of the least safest.
NATO's 30 allies have signed an accession protocol for Finland and Sweden, allowing them to join the nuclear-armed alliance once parliaments ratify the decision, its most significant expansion since the 1990s.
For Finland,
flanked by the respective countries' foreign ministers, Jens Stoltenberg described it as a truly historic moment. The protocol means Helsinki and Stockholm can participate in NATO meetings and have greater access to intelligence, but they will not be protected by NATO's defence laws. Rescue teams have resumed the search for 13 climbers who are missing after part of a glacier gave way high in the Italian Alps on Sunday, killing at least 7 people. Hopes of finding survivors were fading more than 36 hours after a disaster that has fueled concerns about the impact of climate change on the mountains. 3 people from Czech Republic were among those unaccounted for. Sunday's avalanche took place on the Marmolada, which at more than 3,300 meters is the highest peak in the Dolomites, a range in the eastern Italian Alps straddling the regions of Trento and Veneto. About 50,000 people have been urged to evacuate their homes as floods hit Australia's largest city for the 3rd time this year. Parts of Sydney have received about 8 months of rain in 4 days. Roads have been cut off, some houses are underwater and thousands have been left without power. Widespread flooding across Australia, driven by a La Nina weather pattern, has killed more than 20 people this year, many in New South Wales. More than 100 evacuation orders have been issued across Greater Sydney for the current emergency. Spanish firefighters have battled a wildfire in Valencia, which destroyed more than 1,000 hectares of land. A change in weather conditions caused the fire to flare up again as westerly winds and low humidity fanned the flames. Emergency services said they were working to protect a natural park that is near the blaze. Spain's National Weather Agency said that the Valencia region will have storms and strong winds, which could complicate the situation. And finally, Mecca's crowded streets have provided Saudi shops and merchants with some much-needed relief as pilgrims return to the annual Hajj after 2 years of pandemic-related disruption. Saudi Arabia, home to Islam's holiest sites in Mecca and Medina, allowed up to 1 million foreign travellers this year to perform the Hajj after 2 years of limiting the pilgrimage to Saudi residents as the coronavirus outbreak halted global travel. Hajj is a once-in-a-lifetime duty for every able-bodied Muslim who can afford it, and it is a major source of income for the Saudi government and is the world's biggest religious gathering. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.